The Ferguson TE20 tractor, or Little Grey Fergie, the machine that revolutionized farming. Gordon, John and Graham Charity used 6 TE20s on their 300-acre farm in North Cambridgeshire. The last of these tractors was built nearly 40 years ago, but there are still thousands in use all over the country.
In my opinion, nobody could improve on the TE20, and I doubt whether they ever will. They've lasted so long because they've been engineered properly, not like the rubbish we buy today.
Oh, a nice little tractor, very useful, handy. When you're in row crop work, they're easy, you know, you can get on and off easy, adjust them easily. Not got to climb up into a great high cab every time you've got to get off and do something. Smashing.
A good little tractor, I agree. They're easy to work with, easy to get on and off. You can do anything with them. Pretty neat.
Say they're unique.
Unique.
The TE20 was the culmination of a lifetime's work by its inventor, Harry Ferguson. He was born in 1884 on a small farm in the north of Ireland. John Loughlin farms not far from where Harry Ferguson grew up. His family have been farming in this area since the 1820s.
Harry Ferguson, as you know, grew up on a farm outside Dromore in County Down. And he had witnessed all the drudgery and slavery that was involved in farming in his youth. And being an inventive man and a good engineer, he decided that there was great scope for mechanising farming to take the drudgery out of it.
Before the TE20, most farming was done by horses and human labour, making the work extremely slow and arduous. By the outbreak of the First World War, there were over 1 million horses on farms in Britain. Wesley Lewin was born in 1916 and grew up on the farm in Norfolk that he and his son Michael still work today. He remembers the days before the TE20 when just keeping the horses fed took up a quarter of his land.
All the farms in this area had horses, nothing else, and there's no tractors about, none at all. And the farms was much smaller and everybody had horses. There was, no, in every farm around here, every house had got a horse, one sort or another. My experience with the horses is that there was a lot of trouble. I mean, you had to feed them 7 days a week and stop with them all the time. When you want to go very often to work, you would catch the horse in the grass field, he'd have his shoe off. So I'd have to walk to the 3 miles to the blacksmith's and have a new shoe put on the horse. And that was half a day gone.
There were tractors available, like the Fordson, but they were large and unwieldy. Dragging rather than controlling the implements, they were only useful for ploughing large fields. On smaller farms, the horse remained the only option.
The Fordson was available pre-war, but by and large they weren't used for cultivation purposes very much because they solely had a drawbar on them, and they were purely a hauling machine. Any implements they hauled were trailed behind and weren't controlled by the tractor at all other than pulling it. And they were cumbersome and really only suitable for flat land. And I think that was what tempted Ferguson to think that there had to be a way of converting something like the motor car to an agricultural machine.
Whilst working in the motor trade in Belfast, Ferguson set out to design a new kind of tractor. He could see that it was the lack of control over implements which held existing tractors back. He developed a linkage system which brought the two together as one machine for the first time. A prototype, the Black Tractor, went into production in England. But Ferguson fell out with the manufacturer and less than 2,000 were made. Eager to see his tractor mass-produced, he demonstrated it to Henry Ford in America in 1938. A deal was struck and Ford agreed to manufacture the tractor in the States, incorporating Ferguson's linkage system. The new tractor was called the Ford Ferguson.
And on June 29, 1939, at Dearborn, Michigan, the product of their collaboration was first made public.
American farmers were initially skeptical about the new tractor because of its small size. But once they saw what it could do, the Ford Ferguson sold in large numbers.
Mr. Ferguson, will this machine be a success for the small farmer?
Yes, it is deliberately planned to be a success on the small farm. We'll do all the work that animals do on the farm at less than half the cost.
But the small farmer in Britain would have to wait. Plans to export the tractor were halted by the outbreak of war. By the time the war ended, Ferguson had plans for a new, improved tractor to be made in Britain. He was encouraged by the new Labour government, who saw its potential for post-war reconstruction. A meeting was arranged between Ferguson and the Standard Motor Company, whose Banner Lane plant in Coventry was lying empty. They agreed to build the new Ferguson tractor. It was to be called the TE20. Alex Patterson came to Banner Lane in 1945 to run the engineering workshop. He had previously worked for Ferguson in Belfast.
In this factory during the war, they built Hercules aero engines, and that contract was finished. This factory was lying empty. So overnight we got a factory, and we got a guarantee for material to build the tractor. All we had to do was get on with it.
The first TE20s came off the production line in October 1946. At last, a light manoeuvrable tractor was available to British farmers. The combination of three-point linkage and hydraulics made tractor and implement one, and was sold to farmers as the Ferguson system.
If you think of a tractor as a mechanized horse, then of course you build a plough on wheels to harness to it. Now think of a tractor as a ploughing tool. Why not make the ploughshare part of it, without any wheels of its own, and couple it here, and here, and on top here. This three-point linkage, as it's called, is the crux of the idea. It makes every tool part of the tractor, not dead weight to be dragged. A lever at the driver's side operates a hydraulic pump to raise or lower the tool, so you can plough at any depth at a touch of the lever.
The impact of the new tractor was dramatic. Farmers were able to work faster and more efficiently. The TE20 could plough in an hour what had taken a horse the whole day.